What's going on, everybody? Travis with RAC Garage, and we're back on the doors. Welding the skin today, and we are going to, what else are we going to do? Fix those dang flanges. So, I finished tacking everything up today, and I spent a little bit of time on my JRM Tool Co. planishing hammer, the Milwaukee reproduction. Planishing this all back out flat, so this curve right here has the same curve that the bead does. It's brought back to where it should be, so when I weld it, I just need to stretch it out a little bit more, bring it back to where it is now. So it has like the memory inside of it now, so it should be easy to bring back. I just test fit it to the inner, so I'm deciding now if I want to weld it while it's attached to the inner or not. Should probably do it while it's not attached to the inner, just in case it shrinks up real tight and I can't take the skin back off. Yeah, that's a smart idea. I'll do it not attached, planish it all nice, put it back on, and then do my little flange things and deal with the hinge locations in the skin, all that happy stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, see what happens. Alright, dipped it once. It's a little bit dull, and I got a long way to go, so I'm going to sharpen this up. Nice and clean. There is a few stops and starts. I ran into some issues here, not huge issues, but as you can tell, that area right there has a warp in it. A little one right there and a little one right there, because it shrunk less, I would only assume, because it didn't get as hot as these areas here. So I would effectively need to shrink those areas less. I'm going to try something a little different, and I think I want to try and stretch this back out only, I don't know if I'm going to say only, but a majority of it on the planishing hammer. It's very close to the bead, and I just don't want any missed hammer strikes to dent the bead. So I'm going to try it on there. I'll use the 1.5-inch dies, because the 2.5-inch dies don't hit, not that they don't hit as hard, they don't hit as hard, they hit a larger surface, so the result is slower. So I'm going to use 1.5-inch dies and go across this thing a bunch of times, focus on areas or not focus on some areas, like those zones I was talking about before. I might touch up a little bit of the extra filler that I had to add here. It was a really tight gap, and I didn't need to add any filler besides some areas that spread apart on me while I was trying to tack it. But I added filler from here all the way to like here, but very sparingly. I did it kind of normal here, and then I was like, I don't really need to add any, so I added less and less, and from here on there was nothing. And you can't even tell. So these areas I might hit a little bit with my you know, little grinder here, just to take the excess off so I don't overstretch it. Because if there's too much material right there, when you smash it down with the planishing hammer, it has to go somewhere. So it's going to come up. That's why I'm going to take care of that. The end should, you know, level out beautifully. And yeah, I might have to do a little bit of grinding because this is 18 gauge and this is 19. I made this before I got all my 19 gauge from Pro Shaper. And you know, what the heck, might as well use it. That would be the only reason I need to kind of use any grinding, is just level it off. You know, kind of taper the end of this 18 gauge off a tad, just so it's, you know, nice. So yeah, I'm gonna jump on the planisher and we'll get this, we'll start stretching this out. All right, here is the door, all welded up. You can see the weld line because I did mostly fusion welding on this, and sometimes, you know, if there isn't quite enough metal, boop, you'll see that little bits here and there. But that, I take that as a sign, oddly enough, is good craftsmanship. If you had your gaps tight enough that you could fusion weld that thing, it's okay with me. Maybe because I'm saying it and I did it, I don't know, whatever. But door's looking great. Now is the fiddly bit of getting the gaps around the hinges. So I'm gonna put the skin on and off a bunch of times, mark it with a ruler, file it down, get it back on there, mark it, file it down, on off, on off, on off a bunch of times, and then we'll finally fix this stupid flange right here. So all those holes got to be filled. If they were smaller, even smaller than that, I wouldn't have a problem just TIG welding them shut when, you know, the door goes back on the inner, that guy. But since they're so big, it would be an ugly weld. There's no real way of making an oblong, odd-shaped hole look nice when you weld it shut. So, yeah. I gotta bring it back to normal so I can just spot weld it when I put it together. And I might spot weld it or I might rosette it. It depends if I can access the part of the door, which I'm pretty sure I can because it's in this crease here. So that wouldn't be too bad. And then, yeah, the other ones get spot welded. Ooh, see, I can't access that. I can hit this, but this is not the piece of metal. It's this side. This side too, it's the same story. I'm not actually spot welding to this. I'm spot welding to what's behind that, so that's another area where it's kind of tricky. I might have to drill tiny little holes and rosette those, grind them smooth, but we'll get it done. This one will be okay though to spot weld like factory. So, oh, look at that. Gaps around the hinges, money shot. It's hard to tell, but perfect. Once that gets body worked and everything, there's no chance of smacking the skin, moving around, smacking the hinge, popping the paint. That's good. What's next? Ooh, the flange! The flange! Alright, let's go do this stinking flange. It should be pretty easy. I think I'll just cut it off and put a new one on there. Let me look at it and see. I don't think there's anything crazy about it. I think it's just a tiny little bend on it, and it's just a flat piece. So, because it's where the top of the window goes, it shouldn't have any curve. It should be flat because the window goes against it. Shouldn't have anything crazy. So, let's take a look at it. All right, so I got my little piece here. I cut it longer than it should be because bending really short things in a brake, no matter how good the brake is, it just doesn't want to work. It almost like it makes it's almost like it acts thicker than it is because there's not enough leverage to bend it. So at first I just had the tiny side in there and I was trying to do it and it was slipping out and all this kind of crap. And like, I got a brand new Bailey brake and it shouldn't be doing that stuff. So I put it in this way, hold down on the big part, and then boop, just bent up nice. This might be, common knowledge, but if it isn't, there you go. And I knew that, it just, sometimes you forget and you do dumb stuff. So, next bend, that was 3/16. And now I'm gonna bend up, do another 90 degree, do a 90 degree. This is a little less than 90. I'm gonna do 5/8. 5/8, not 7/8. Take that away, that was wrong. 5/8. From the crease to the bend. And we'll do this one. And then all I gotta do is trim the bottom here. And this flange is gonna weld to that flange. Well, a little more in a couple spots, but it was my fault. I pushed it too hard. But yeah, that's what we're going for. Alright, so I got my little channel made. But I was wrong. And this top here is not flat. Not flat. So let's try to find it. Got my low crown sweeps. 6, way too big. All the way down to a number 1. Jeez. Yeah. Not enough. 2. Ooh, close. Either 2 or 3. Go with a 3. So now we know it's a 3. I need to make, how's this going down? It goes down like this. I need to make this a 3. And maybe a little bit more on the edges, honestly. Yeah, I'll just do a little more to fit the edge, but yeah, okay. Shrinker it is. Alright. Now you can see this fits that now. So now I can cut this out, weld it onto there. And it's got to be flipped because that's how the orientation is. I'll probably cut this little lip off so I can get this actually sitting where it needs to be. Scribe it, cut it off. so here we go. Skin's on. Flange repaired. Flange repaired. Flange repaired. Flange repaired around the whole skin. On the top. It's sitting here, ready, primed, I would assume. I think that's the next step here. I keep like looking at it and say, oh shit, I need to do that. The only thing that I might have to do is a little bit of flange right here. But if I'm edge welding this, I could probably edge weld another 3 inches. You know, I don't think it's a huge deal breaker. So, oh, yeah. A little bit of lifting here. That's really not bad. Once it's hemmed over, it'll stay nice and tight. Kill it. Sweet. Okay. I'm gonna pull the passenger off and give it a once over. I know I gotta do 2 flanges on the other door. Forgot about those. I did 1 and then I must have forgot. Came back here the next day and thought I was done with it. So let me look, and also the spacing on the hinge. I think the top hinge got messed up somehow, so I might have to fix that. So I'm gonna put this on the car, so it's somewhere safe out of the way. Alright, so last you saw me, I was on the power hammer, getting that lump out of the center, and that is out. So, lump no more. I also fixed this flange. I fixed this one. I could probably hammer dolly a little bit, but they had no spot welds from here to here, so I was going to remake the whole thing, and there was only like 6 holes, so I filled that one. Came out pretty good. So that I'll be able to spot weld that like factory. I filled in this crack where the 2 edges met. There was a spot here. I don't remember if that was rot or what it was. It was a spot, so I fixed that. Everything is getting fixed. So this inner is ready for paint. Primer. This can get primed. The other door skin, I think I already figured that out today, did it? That's ready for priming. I'll probably give it a once over when I take it off again, but it's looking really good because I fixed all the flanges. Everything's money. Everything's nice. The inners have been done for a while, so they're chilling. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just ready for priming. So I'll fill, I gotta fill a couple Cleco holes. I'll fill the Cleco holes, and then we'll prime these, and then we'll hem the edge. There's really nothing more to do. So that's cool. Doors are gonna get done soon. All right, that's all I got for this one. I will catch you guys later. Tomorrow, hopefully. So keep on watching. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time. Me, but